Well, hello. We are back doing some Grimdark future battle reports again. This was at 3,000 points against my custom list, which is a craft ship High Elves, a modified High Elf fleets list versus some Soul Snatcher cults that I've played in the past. 3,000 points. So just thinking through this, this is 3,000 points, three objectives. I'm using this opportunity to play some solo games on Tabletop Simulator, mainly just to start getting an idea of the competitive viability of armies. So I'm sort of trying armies that I think are good, putting them against each other, trying to see, from a competitive standpoint, what works, what doesn't. Part of this is always like a command point structure that you can see there, playing one command point for every 500 points, so around there. And yeah, so a lot of these battles that I've been running when I had the opportunity on vacation the past couple of months, it's been doing a lot of testing on OPR and sort of seeing, some of the armies that are making and have made work great on paper, but are they actually that good? So a lot of thoughts that I'm going into here. But let's get into the army lists. So for the army lists, this is my custom army with some Temple Scorpions that we're running with some energy swords, some Temple Banshees that have armed accordingly. I'm not going to go too much into the army list. You can just get a general idea. Two squads of Avengers, some Temple Lances, Storm Guardians that I have for Furious and Regeneration, some Reapers that I have with the Deadly Missiles. I've got a Combat Walker that I've given him the Protective Aura. I do like sort of giving some extra abilities to some of these units. Two Temple Masters, one as a Scorpion, the other one as a level 3 caster. For the Soul Snatchers, a similar army that I've ran in the past, Soul Snatcher Matriarch, Cult Leader, two Brute Champions, 3 units of minions. I like those minions just with Flamers, just a really solid unit. Acolytes, Mutant Brutes, Soul Snatchers, running 3 squads of them, some minion bikes, and I've got a battle tank that has traditionally done me pretty well. So yeah, this army has done me pretty well in the past. So we'll see how it does against a custom army. So just in the setup here, so I'm running kind of the Plague World here. So when I'm setting up here, I'm showing you the pre scout moves here. So as my high elf fleets, I really don't know what he's going to do, but I know he's got a lot of first striking capabilities. So I actually play very back. One of the things that the high elf fleets have is fast and very fast with the bikes. So I actually don't need to be 12 inches up. So basically my entire army is playing pretty tight, and it's playing basically further than he can charge me on turn 1 with some of those Soul Snatchers. So that's what's going on here. And I did that because basically, yeah, we don't know. So this is just another picture of what we're going to see here with the Soul Snatchers here. So this is the way I set up with Soul Snatchers, with just the tank and the 3 minion squads being deployed. And then, so that's just what, as I was deploying here, just with the 3 minions and the tank. And that's just my, so I've got the Avengers in front, guarded by the Reapers. I've got my jet bikes on the far end. Towards the center, I've got my Storm Guardians with my Banshees. And I haven't set up my Scorpions yet because they're also in Scout. And I've got that Scout Walker all outside of the range to get first turn charged. So this is after I've set up the Soul Snatchers. So you can see here, I've just generally put the Soul Snatchers up front. They can't first turn charge anything. And then I've got my Acolytes on the right, and then my Mutants on the left with the regen. Yeah, that's just the double Soul Snatchers. And then the Minion Bikes on the far right, they also get Scout. I've got my leader running into those Minion Bikes. I've done it before, we just make some really fast. I think it's pretty interesting. Alright, so that's just the end of the setup here, where I've just stayed outside of that 16-inch threat bubble of those Soul Snatchers. That's just another picture of the Soul Snatchers, and that's just a picture of the Minion Bikes here. So it is 3 objectives, and you can see the Soul Snatchers have been pretty aggressive in how they set up here, and just in general going to try and get in the High Elf Fleet's face. That's just the High Elf Fleets afterwards, right there. And then, oh yeah, so for the Scorpions, I actually just set the Scorpions pretty far back, along with the Banshees. I didn't. The scout on the Scorpions just wasn't worth it. Like even if I would have scouted up, he would have just, I would have just out scouted me anyway. So yeah, that's just some pictures of how the battle was began, and there's the Scorpions that I basically just set up back with the rest of the army. Okay, and that has my one of my Scorpion leaders. That's just the Avengers. I have my Farseer running as a separate unit in this game, and that's just my bikes. All right, so turn one, the Soul Snatchers do get to go first. So here, the first thing is the Matriarch. I know that I can't first turn charge him, so the Matriarch just moves up and gives +1 defense on 2 of the Soul Snatchers. At that point, the Avengers move up, and they're able to stay outside of 16, but within their 18-inch shooting, and they shoot some Soul Snatchers. Roll pretty good, kill 4 of them. So from there, the mutants just rush up, getting in range to charge next turn. And then my other Avengers, they move into the building and they shoot the Soul Snatchers with cover. I roll great though, and just roll some 6s and actually I'm able to kill 4 more of them. So yeah, those Soul Snatchers, one of those units is down to 2. The first Soul Snatchers just basically moves up, stays in terrain, and gets in charge range. So that's that. At that point, my Farseer moves closer, basically staying in between the Avenger squads and casts +1 defense on both the Scorpions and the Banshees. The Cultists move up, basically in front of the Matriarch. The Storm Guardians on the bottom, they move up and they shoot. They have their 6-inch pistols, so they shoot those Soul Snatchers. Kill, I think they kill 1 or 2 of them. Yeah. The Bikes move up. And they shoot those Avengers. They don't roll great. They only kill 1 of them. I mean, it is cover and regen, so they only kill 1 of those Guardians. At this point, the Reapers they step up on the building and they shoot the tank. Roll pretty good and do 6 wounds and waver the tank. I just immediately spend a command point to remove the waver on the tank. Seeing he's already injured, I go ahead and just shoot. So the tank splits fire, shoots at the Dark Reapers and the Storm Guardians. I basically double miss with the battle cannon, and I roll terrible basically on both. I actually end up killing 1 more Storm Guardian, and I kill 1 more Reaper as well. So that's the Storm Guardian dead, and that's one of the Reapers. Didn't roll great, and that's the problem with a quality 4 up on these tanks. They are like, it's very feast and famine. If you roll great, they do terrific, but if you roll like less than a 4 up, they feel very not worth their points, basically. So at this point, I have the Combat Walker moves up. He gives his Protective Aura ability. It actually doubles up on the +1 defense on both the Banshees and the Scorpions. He then shoots at the... so he has his twin Shred Cannons, and he shoots at the... shoots at those Soul Snatchers that you're seeing. Rolls great and actually kills 5 of them. So... yeah, rolling really good so far with the High Fleets and actually wavers those Soul Snatchers. At this point, the minions just move up behind the Bikes, claim the objective, and then the Scorpions at this point charge the mutants. Actually, just roll great, kill all of them. So they're all dead, and then they just consolidate on the objective. At this point, the Acolytes charge the Scorpions. Now they have +2 defense. Here, so kills 4 of them, but actually this is another really crazy. Their first turn was crazy. I rolled great. Actually, on 6s, kill 7 of those Acolytes. It's just some pretty bonkers rolling here, but that is just sort of part of the game, just to have these really nuts rolls. So I actually end up killing more of the Acolytes. Killing more of the Acolytes fatigued. So there you go. The shining the lances, the jet bikes move up and they shoot their rifles at the Acolytes, killing all but the leader. So it's just that. At this point, I have the Soul Snatchers charge the Scorpions, kill all but the leader. So the leader does pass his morale. It's just that Scorpion leader who actually I think kills 1. Yeah, kills 1 in return, and then just backs off. The Banshees use Strider to move up and they shoot at the Soul Snatchers as well. Kill 2 of them, so a pretty decent roll. He's already wavered, so it doesn't matter. But there's 1 left. The excuse me. The cultists move up and they shoot those banshees. I think they kill one of them, and yeah, they kill one of them, but they also remove the two defense buffs on there. So that's those cultists using their rifles to shoot the banshees. Um, yeah. So that is just what's going on for turn one. You can just see the recap here. The Storm Guardians and the Banshees are moving up towards the center. That's the bikes, so they've claimed the far right objective. And then in the center, you can see the cultists are moving up, guarded by the matriarch. And yeah, that's the tank that took 6 wounds on that first turn. That's rough. And that's just some more pictures at the end of the first turn. Pretty killy first turn. These are 2 armies that are fast and can. This is the thing. Usually on the first turn you don't have this much death, but on the first turn it's been a pretty killy game. These 2 armies just want to get in your face real fast. So yeah, that's just some more pictures at the end of turn 1. Where basically 2 armies have grabbed their objective closest to them, and they're going to start contesting over the center. All right, so it is turn 2, and the craft ship High Elves go first. So the first thing they do is the Avengers, they move up and they shoot the Soul Snatchers, killing 6 of them. They actually waver them. Soul Snatchers are not rolling good so far, and the High Elf fleets are definitely rolling better. So it's a waiver on their part. The tank moves up and it shoots at the Banshees and the Reapers. It only kills 1 Reaper, and then it kills 4 Banshees, both pass morale. So the tank did a little better in that it killed 4 of the Banshees and killed 1 of the Reapers. But both passed their morale. At this point, the remaining Banshees charge the minion squad, and they just kill all of them. So that's all the Banshees killing the minions, leaving them with the matriarch, and they just consolidate back a little bit. That's just them consolidating back a little bit. The bikers move up again, and they shoot at those Storm Guardians. Again, I don't roll great. I only kill 2 of them. So those bikers, I'm not really impressed with them so far. The Lances move up and they shoot the minions, killing 9 of them. So, yeah, roll really great and wavered that last minion. At this point, the minions move up behind the bikes and they shoot the Banshees with the flamers and the guns. So now those flamers are in range. They killed 3 of those Banshees. Yeah, sorry that difficult terrain is sort of covering up the models. I try to highlight them, but yes, kills 3 of those Banshees with those flamers now that those minions are in range. So yeah, just 2 Banshees left. The Storm Guardians then and the Warlock charge and cast the 2 AP. So it does a level 1 spell that does the 2 AP 2 hits on the tank. Actually does 2 wounds and wavers the tank. I have to use another 3 CP points to remove the waver on that tank. So that's just what happened there. At that point, they charge the mutant leader and kill him, and then they just follow up. So really good roll for the High Elf fleets, and yeah, it's one of these battles that when one army starts rolling better than the other, it's really brutal. The matriarch charges and casts the level 3 spells that does 6 hits on 2 units. So it casts it on the Lance and the Storm. So it kills 4 of the Storm Guardians and does 2 wounds on the Lances, both pass morale, which is again just more good rolling. He then, the matriarch then finishes the remaining Banshees and just grabs the center. So I have a single Reaper left. He shoots at the matriarch, but she actually, I think she needs like a 6 up. She actually makes the 6, so the matriarch is still alive. I then just, on the Soul Snatchers, they just unwaver their 2 Soul Snatchers. The Dire Avengers move up. And they shoot at those bikes, do 4 wounds on the bikes. At the very least, the bikes have a lot of wounds, I guess. The single cultists right there unwavers. And then the Farseer charges. So the Farseer is just on her own. She charges the 2 remaining Snatchers and casts the +1 defense on the Lances and the Rangers. So that's her using her remaining 2 spell tokens to do that +1 defense on those 2 units. That's just on the Lances as well. And kills the remaining 2 Soul Snatchers. All right, and then just follows up. The single Soul Snatcher unwavers, and then the Temple Master. So this is the lone remaining Scorpion charges the tank, does 2 wounds, and it fails its morale route. That's 3 route rules that tank has failed. So it finally goes, that was not this tank's battle. Just not good. He also just, the Scorpion leader just moves in range of the objective next turn. The Combat Walker moves up and he gives the +1 defense to itself and the Avengers, and then shoots at the bikes. Does 5 wounds, so kills another one and then puts 2 on another one. Yeah, that's the end of turn 2. You know, this is one of these games that's really just turning into sort of an absolute route fest with just those first 2 turns. The High Elf fleets rolled really good. The Soul Snatchers rolled pretty bad, so it's really just turning into a quick rout. And that's just some pictures. You do see the Soul Snatchers have moved up. They've got in range of those Flamers, but just the High Elf fleets have just really done a number on the units. They've grabbed the objectives. The Avengers are still pretty full. They've lost 2 of their combat squads, but they've still got the Lances and the Avengers that are just going to do work. Right there, it's sort of a matriarch against the world at this point. So yeah, that's just all defensed up. Yeah, that's the end of turn 2. It's just some pictures, and you can just see the High Elf fleets have sort of cleared out that flank, and that losing that tank was really rough. Turn 3, the Soul Snatchers do get to go first. It looks really bad for them, but they do get to go first. So at this point, it's the matriarch. Tries to cast a level 3, but the High Elves spend their tokens as well, basically to bring it to a 6, and then the matriarch fails to cast. So the matriarch isn't able to get off a level 3 spell. At that point, I'm just trying to really do something crazy. So I charge the jet bikes. I do 4 wounds. They choose not to attack back, and then they pass their morale. At this point, the Lances, the jet bikes just move, basically charge over them, charge into the bikes, kill all but the leader. The leader does pass his morale, which I guess is something. But yeah, he's heavily wounded as well. The single flamer moves up and shoots at the storms, killing 1, just leaving the warlock. The remaining warlock does fail his morale, so that's something. The Avengers move up and they shoot at those minion cultists behind the bikes. Even with cover, this is just great rolling. I just kill all of them. So they had like a 4-up cover, but just really great rolls. The single Soul Snatcher charges the Lances, does 2 wounds. The Lances attack back with 2 hits, but actually the Soul Snatcher rolls double 6s and passes his armor save. So yeah, but they pass their morale, so it sort of doesn't matter. The Combat Walker moves up and then shoots the leader on the bike with this, and then kills the leader on the bike. And the Farseer then charges the Matriarch. Also, he tries to cast a damage spell, but fails, but still just rolls good and kills the Matriarch. So, and then just consolidates closer. The Avengers move up and they basically just unload. There's like a single minion with a flamer that they shoot and just kill. So, and then the Scorpion leader just moves on the objective. So, yeah, I mean, that's the end of turn 3. This game is, it's one of those games that like I play, but when one squad, I think the High Elves rolled really good this game and just sort of mowed through the Soul Snatchers, which I thought could have done a lot better. That's just some pictures. I think by turn 4 I would have grabbed that other objective. So I'm calling it as just a 3-0 victory. So turn 4, the Soul Snatchers, they do get to go first, but yeah, so what I did is I just basically looked at the battlefield and like Soul Snatchers lost. So the Soul Snatchers do concede on turn 4. That's the end of the game. So it's a 3-0 victory basically for the High Elves. It's a turn 3 success. I mean, it's basically turn 4, but yeah, turn 3 is when basically the Soul Snatchers concede. And yeah, just Fast, you know, Soul Snatchers are really good, but I think when an army like that has fast, is a good counter to Scout. So also just rolled great, which, you know, probably helped a lot. Some learning points, I think that fast units are actually a really good counter to Scout because you can set them further back and still be able to get them into the game, even though they basically back another 4 inches. I think the Soul Snatchers also could have played more defensive. I do want to tweak my. I don't like to just knee jerk change things in armies, but I've played the Bikers a couple of games and I just don't like them. I think that they're just the natural fives. They're sort of a good meat bag, but like I don't know. Like I'm gonna try a game without the bike because I don't think they're good. Soul Snatcher Matriarch did well though. I think the Soul Snatcher Matriarch has continued to do well. The acolytes are okay, but so basically, I think I'm gonna do some work and change the Soul Snatcher army. May go with a second squad of mutants. Hey, thanks for watching. You can always play against me on Universal Battles or Tabletop Simulator. Always interested in feedback. Like, subscribe, and comment. I'm back into, I had a bit of a stint on vacation, so I'm back doing these things. If you're in Austin, we're always looking for people in the Austin Alternative Gaming Freaks. Thanks a lot.